Hey guys, SurfImp here. Going to do a little video about PicaSim. Very fun and very good Windows-based flight simulator that is totally free, available from railhouse.co.uk/PicaSim. I'll put a link at the end of this video. Alright, so we are going to do some free fly today, and going to go ahead and select the fish model and the cliff scenery. Going to confirm my settings here. Wind speed, I want to get it down around 4.5 meters per second. Dial down the turbulence a little bit. Alrighty, and come back here. Alright, we're good to go. One thing before I start, I use a Mode 2 setup, so that's pretty common in North America, but if you're watching it from Europe, you may have to do a little sort of translation. So this is my elevator, my ailerons, my rudder, and my flaperon control. This is the so-called 4-axis control. So center is it's a neutral trailing edge, no change. Forward, reflex is a trailing edge. Down or back, camber is a trailing edge. Unfortunately, there's no surface movements yet in PicaSim, but for a total cost of $0, I think we can overlook that. All right, so let's go ahead and start flying here. All right, so I've had some requests. I did a sort of a in-person VTPR clinic or demo at last year's Weasel Fest, and I'm looking forward here to using some technology to try to share whatever I can about our flying with these planes and the fun we have with them in a way that's a little more convenient. I don't have to wait for a good day and have a camera, and I don't have to do multiple takes and hope I can get it all right. The sim lets me just sort of set up the scenario and get right to the discussion, so to speak. Alrighty, so people seem to have some interest in just general aerobatics flying, definitions about sort of what's what, and one of the things I'd like to start off with is just defining what an aerobatics glider actually is. So an aerobatics glider differs from a normal glider just in that it is optimized obviously to do aerobatics, and what that means is that it has an airfoil that lets it fly inverted equally as well as it does upright. That's important. And it includes a rudder, so you get just an additional axis of control. You'll see if you watch that left square down there at the bottom of the screen, you'll see I'm using the rudder all the time just to help control the shape of my flight path and the position of my plane in the sky and how it's responding. And so that really is what defines an aerobatics plane, and it's different from a traditional slope glider in the sense that most slope gliders, you know, if I just take my left stick off the or my left hand off the left stick there, now I'm flying how most people fly slope, and that is with aileron and elevator control. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, any flying at all is better than sitting in front of a spreadsheet. It's all good, so to speak. But there are some limits to what you can do here. You know, I can kind of fake my way through a tighter, snappish figure. Depending on how you set up your plane, you may be able to initiate something resembling a snap roll just with aileron elevator, but you're going to be somewhat limited. You know, you can do some relatively slow rolls, just aileron elevator. That's a nice, reasonably nice slow roll. But you know, in the real world, you know, obviously this is a sim, so it's a bit, it's certainly idealized in terms of the aileron elevator experience. But you know, you can have a lot of fun flying that way. But what the rudder gives you, now that I'll put my hand back on here, is you can just kind of carve around in a little bit different way. And if you're working a tight lift band, you can really kind of control where exactly you place the plane. It's really just more about having an additional layer of, or level of control over what you might have normally. And again, it's not better, it's not worse, it's just, it is what it is. A DS plane is optimized to go very fast in a circle. An aerobatics plane is optimized to give you full control in any imaginable situation. So that's what they do. Alrighty, so first of all, let's talk about some aerobatics figures. We all know, you know, what a basic loop is. It's back on the elevator, up and over the top. Now, of course, you can do those outside as well. With an aerobatics glider, they'll look very much like they do upright. All right, so that's your basic loop figure. We've got, you know, our variations of turnaround figures. We've got half cubans and reverse cubans. both fun, nice ways to turn around, give you a little variety from the typical stall turn. We've got our rolls. Again, I'm just mostly flying here just aileron elevator just to kind of show that this is stuff that can be done just aileron elevator. If that's all you've got right now, no problem. So rolls, let's see. Alright, and inverted flying. Of course, everyone loves inverted flying. It's really fun. Stick around with the acrobatics long enough and it becomes just so natural you don't even really realize you're flying upside down. It's just a different shape of the plane in the sky. And then there's classic stall turns. Again, I'm just flying here aileron elevator just to show sort of the basic types of figures that we can do. Alright, and that is pretty much about the extent of what you're going to be able to do. You can do some point rolls too, but that's about the extent of what you're going to be able to do with an aileron elevator plane. And honestly, that's quite a lot of the core of aerobatics flying, no doubt. So once you add the rudder, the two big things you get right away are the ability to do snap rolls. So I'll do a little half snap here to inverted. Oop, kind of fell out of that one. The snap is facilitated by the rudder, just tightens it up, gives you just another sort of shape. If you imagine these aerobatics figures as being sort of like the different colors in your paint box, then adding the rudder just adds a number of additional colors to that paint box. So really nothing wrong, it's just more options, more fun ultimately. So with the rudder, obviously, you get the snap capability, you get the knife edge capability, and you get the spin capability. Let's see if we can do a little spin here. I think I'll end there inverted. There we go. Get it up here, nose up, into the wind, and initiate. Gotta tweak the settings on this LaFish model. It doesn't have quite enough elevator in the low rate configuration, but that's alright. It's enough to give an idea. Okay, so yeah, so there's a great example of rudder. That tight kick over the top, you control when it flips instead of just whenever the wind happens to kick you over. And that's really useful depending on what you're trying to do. Again, aerobatics flying is really, I mean, there's different approaches to it. You can take a precision approach, or you can take a more freestyle approach, or you can blend the two. There's really no rules, no right or wrong answer. It's just pure expression. Whatever feels right to you, you should go for it. Alright, so the rudder then just gives you that additional layer of control to do some fun stuff. Alrighty, so let's talk about some basic aerobatic figures for a fully aerobatic glider. So you can certainly do your point rolls, classic sort of 4-point roll here. Not so beautifully executed, but get the idea. You can do slow rolls, so let's do a slow roll. Feed in the rudder. Oh, sweet, bro. You look pretty good at that. Alright. Okay, let's try another slow roll. So, we'll drop in here, pick up a little speed, and slowly feed in the rudder. Try to keep your roll rate consistent. Slow roll, you really want to take, at least if you can, assuming you have enough speed, you want to try to take maybe 3 or 4 seconds. Just try to extend it out as long as you can. Really take your time. There's no hurry. It's a slow roll. Okay, there we go. Alright, and then point rolls. We talked about those a little bit already, but again, having the rudder, you can do them much slower. And there was a bit too slow. And much more axial than you might get without the rudder. So yeah, the rudder really lets you extend and control the shape of your flight path in a different way. And it's fun. It's real fun. Okay, so we'll talk about upright and inverted snaps. So an upright snap, you're going to get full up and full aileron and rudder in the same direction. That was a half snap. Okay, and an outside snap. Again, we'll do a half snap. It's full down rudder, full aileron one way, and full rudder the opposite way to the aileron. So that's the thing with inverted flying in the rudder. You have to learn. So again, do an upright half snap. Alrighty. And this is fun when you do those turnarounds inverted. You're actually giving aileron one direction and rudder the opposite. So that actually is great practice for getting into your ruddering along with these snaps. So again, okay, we'll do an outside snap. So aileron one way, rudder the opposite way for the outside snap. Okay, and then spins. You enter a spin the same way that you enter a snap, so an upright spin. You're going to get into the wind here, lead off your airspeed, and then initiate. Okay, then release back pressure and neutralize the rudder and aileron, and you will recover and then just fly out of it. Now let's try one inverted. So again, climb up into the wind. You don't have to do these into the wind, but for demonstration purposes it's convenient. Okay, use that rudder, get yourself right into the wind. There you go, okay. So just initiate the spin. There you go. Alright. There we go, recover. So, recovery is the same for both upright and inverted. You just neutralize your inputs and then fly out of it, whether upright or inverted. Okay. So, let's see here. Another fun thing to do, basic type stuff, is these low passes. These are kind of more contingent upon your sight, but flying low is certainly a lot of fun. You can do it sort of behind yourself like that if you have enough space, or you can kind of come in here tight across the lip. I practice those a lot. I never quite know for sure whether I'm going to get a tail or a wingtip drag or just a miss, but the idea is you get in here close enough and do it enough times and some magical fun things can happen. Alright, these are another good one for practicing your rudder, these stall turns, especially when you link them upright and inverted. So let's talk about another classic move, the figure in. So you pull up, typical stall turn, kick over the top, come out, push, up to another one, kick. Alright, but you see it's the opposite direction there. So those are really good for practicing your ruddering. It will definitely kind of mess with your head a little bit at first, but that's good. That's why we're doing this. Learn some new stuff. Keep your brain sharp. Take them off. Take your mind off those spreadsheets. All right. So you can just do those figure M's, all the way across the slope. Anything you like. It's just good practice. All right. You can mix in some half rolls on the way down or up. Make it a little extra exciting. Lost a little too much speed there. Okay. Alright. Come back around here for another low pass. Another thing, I like to roll towards the slope with the top of my wing there when I want to set up for these low passes, but you should definitely practice your rolls, both canopy towards you, like here, and canopy away from you, like there. The rudder inputs obviously are going to be different, and so here, you see the rudder inputs are one way, here, whoops, they're another way, and it's really good practice, all this stuff. So many little nuances to master. It's really limitless and really a lot of fun. Okay, so that rudder lets me just stay right here, tighten the lift band, right over this little piece of fun lip that I want to try to drag the tail on if I can. Probably kook out, but that's alright. Oh. Let's try one right here. Not quite. Well, it's just one of those things. Practice it enough, and eventually it happens. There's a sort of force to drag. Alright. So yeah, a big part of the in-close flying is down to just getting used to your slope, kind of knowing what it looks like in the back of your mind, so you don't even have to, whoops, hit myself I think. Oh, backwards? One of the fun things in PicaSim is the nearly ice-like texture of the hilltop means it's very easy to get a nice restart going. There we go, a little drag, oops, a little too hard of a hit, but anyways, you'll see that actually that spot down in Long Beach that we fly, we can almost get away with the same stuff. It's quite a lot of fun. There's a little fin drag. Anyways, again, depending on your slope site, you may or may not be able to fly in close like this, but on a nice light wind day with a nice light glider, you can just practice this stuff. And it's pretty much just like in the sim here. You know, you crash and just throw the plane back out. No big deal. The planes are so light, they're so durable that you can just kind of beat on them like this all day long. Just bring some Gorilla Glue to glue the fin back on if the inevitable happens. Let's get a little wingtip. Oh! Nope. Anyways. Alright guys, well, you can do this for all day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's other things I can show you or explain better, please let me know. I'll be glad to film some more. Thanks a lot. See you next time.